All right, guys, good morning. Happy Thursday. All right, ignore this for a minute. I want to talk about the final for a second, in case you want to take a picture of this or write it down. I'm going to give you a heads up about the final. So on Monday, December 14th, that's not next week, but the week after. So it's going to be on us before we know it. So December 14th, it is a Monday, but we're going to follow the Wednesday schedule. So in other words, when you come into class, you're not going to use the Monday schedule in classroom. You're going to follow the Wednesday schedule on Monday. Okay, as far as the finals go, on the 15th on Tuesday is periods 1 and 4. On Wednesday is periods 2 and 5. Thursday are periods 3 and 6. And Friday, I don't think you come to school. That's a teacher prep day. So as far as I know, you guys are not coming to school. So the way this works is, and of course you guys are period 2. So your final would be on Wednesday, the first session. So those numbers you see first are the first couple hours, and the numbers you see second are the second hour. So period 1 would be given the first hour, period 4, the second 2 hours. On Wednesday, you would take the final, the first session, the second session is period 5. Now, the final, we've been practicing all year for the final because it's going to be given on my math lab. It's going to be a final that I write. And let me just tell you this, there is no wiggle room for anything. So if you miss the final and you oversleep, you're going to get a 0 because there's no other time I can give it. And the problem with this is it's 20% of your grade. So there's some days you just never want to miss, and this is one of them. You got to make sure that you set your alarms, that you do everything in your power to make it on Wednesday the 16th, because if you don't, 20% of your grade is going to be down the drain. Now, what's 20%? Well, if you ace the final, it could raise your grade. If you bomb the final, it could lower it. But if you get like in between, it doesn't do much to the grade. But it is 20% of your overall grade. Okay? So the main thing is make sure you're here. Make sure you take it on that day, because if you don't, there's nothing I can do about it. So it'll just be gone. So, like I said, we've been practicing all year. You know how to get into my math lab. You know how to take the exams in my math lab. So we've been practicing it since, August. So anybody have a question about the final schedule? Okay, can I erase this then? Does everybody have this?
Yeah.
Okay. So I will be talking more about your final, but it's not gonna be anything new. So you remember all those prerequisite sections? Remember everything we've been doing lately? You're either gonna have the same exact problems, or they're gonna be problems like the problems we have. There's gonna be no surprises. So I'm gonna test you on what we've already done, and you might even get some of the same exact problems that you've had on the exams we've taken in this class. Okay, now, yesterday I taught lesson 1-9. So I'm hoping you looked at it, because like I told you, whether I post or not, as soon as I give a lesson, you need to be looking at it. So last period did not go very well. I gave 5 problems that should have been done in 10 minutes. In 45 minutes, they couldn't do them. That is not good. So it took 45 minutes and they still couldn't do these 5 problems. All right, so take a look at page 280 with me, please. These 5 problems are from each of the 5 sections, and these are the easiest problems in each section. What you're going to do is you're going to go to your Math Wizard teams, and you are going to work together. So if you don't work together, you're not going to, it's going to take longer than 45 minutes to do them. So you've got to work together. So you've got to collaborate. Somebody has to read the directions. You have to talk out, what are we going to do? What are we going to do next? And everybody has to participate. Okay, so right now it's about 11 o'clock. Okay, at 11:30, I'm giving you 30 minutes to do 5 problems. All right, so at 11:30, you're going to come back and we're going to go over it. Now, if you finish these problems in 5 minutes, then you can do some problems from your assignment with your team. You can talk to your team about problems or whatever. Okay, let me tell you one thing about problem number 2. They're asking for 2 answers. They're asking for an exact answer. And that means if you have a radical, you have to simplify the radical. And they're also asking for an approximation if you have to give one. That means you got to get the calculator out. So they want 2 answers. They want an exact answer. And if it's a radical, they want an approximation also. Okay, I will see you in the Math Wizard teams. You're going to do these 5 problems on page 280, and hopefully we can get them done by 11:30. Okay, any questions? All right, I'll see you in the teams. Turn the recorder here. First of all, I want you to know that there's only 15 people in this class now, and 9 people are failing. So 60% of the class is failing. There's a lot of different reasons for that. There's not one reason. But I'll give you a couple reasons. First of all, a lot of you came without the necessary prerequisites. That's why we went over the prerequisite section. A lot of you are absent too much. So we still haven't come to grips with the fact that you're in school and you have to come every day. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't be driving and watching the lesson. Can't be at the doctor's office watching the lesson. You've got to schedule everything around school. And a lot of you just aren't doing that. And so like today, I have out of 15, a third of the class is absent. So 5 people are absent. So if you only have 15 people in class, 5 people are absent, a third of the class is absent. That's no good. So that's part of the problem. The other part of the problem is I taught this lesson on Wednesday. So tonight you have an assignment due 1/8, but you shouldn't be working on 1/8. As soon as I teach a lesson, you should be working on that lesson. I'm giving you beautiful notes. So some of you are looking back in the section, which that's okay. Some of you are looking on the examples online. That's okay. But I'm giving you beautiful notes. All you have to do is look at your notes. So let me encourage you. I'm trying a lot of different things with you. Please try to follow the leader, okay? If you're somebody who has an A or a B in here right now, try not to just be out for yourself. When you're in the teams, try to participate, because if you're able to put things in words, that's just less studying you have to do, because if you put it in words, that means you don't have to study, you already know it. And those of you who are confused, be willing to ask. So we all have to, you have to help yourself. I mean, if you don't speak up, if you don't ask, then all of this is just a big waste of time, you know? Those of you who are using that application that does the work for you and get the answer, that's fine, but I don't know how you're going to do on the SAT. I don't know how you're going to do on a midterm when they don't let you take your phone in. Those of you who are just putting 100% on your assignments, I don't know how that's going to go in your college math class or any other type of thing where you actually have to do something. So you have to make good choices in life. Some of you are not making good choices. And all it takes really is just to change your heart and get on the right path. All right, we're gonna work all the problems. This is the distance formula. I did teach it on Wednesday. If you were absent, you should have watched the video. Can't just see if you don't watch the video and you're absent, then it causes holes and gaps. Let's say I'm trying to fill holes and gaps. If you're absent, then you're creating what I'm trying to fix. So this is the first point, x sub 1, y sub 1. This is the second point, x sub 2, y sub 2. All you do is you put it in the formula. So 8 minus 5 quantity squared, 5 minus 1 quantity squared is 3 squared plus 4 squared is 9 plus 16. The square root of 25 is 5. So that took less than 30 seconds to do. Some of you, I gave you a whole bunch of time to do it. You never got off this problem. So you do realize if you say you can't, you won't. You've got to look at the notes. You got to work through it and you got to talk it out together. The next problem, that's number 2, number 20. The other thing is you want to read the directions. So you want to be able to understand what the directions are saying. What is it that they want? So they're giving you 2 points. What do they want? Now in problem number 2, let me just go back to this real quick. If your answer was a radical, they want you to simplify the radical. So this, do a prime factorization 4 times 6. So a 2 gets to come out. So that would be the exact answer simplified. And then you would put this on the calculator. So can somebody do that for me, please? What's 2 times radical 6? And don't round for me, just tell me what you get. Two times radical 6.
I got 4.89.
Keep reading it. 4.89.
89.
Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. Okay, now it says that when you have a decimal round to 2 places, so that means you're going to look at this and go, okay, we're going to round the 9 up. So the answer that they want is 4.90. So that's rounding 2 places. So when you have a radical, you have to simplify the radical and you have to give a second answer as an approximation. Okay, now number 20 says, find the midpoint. Now I gave a formula for this, but this is so easy, you don't need a formula. All you do is you make this x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. You add the x's and divide by 2, and you combine that y's and divide by 2. That's it, you guys, that's it. Put the x's together, divide by 2, put the y's together, divide by 2. So this is the ordered pair, because the midpoint is the middle of a line segment. So the midpoint is the middle of a line segment. This is 12 divided by 2 and 10 divided by 2. So the answer is the ordered pair, right 6, up 5, and that's it. And both of these problems should have taken less than 30 seconds to do. Does anybody have a question about the distance or the midpoint? Go ahead, I'm listening. Somebody say something. Somebody give me something to know that I'm just not wasting my time up here. You know, that's what I feel like right now. I feel like I'm just wasting my time because you guys could care less about anything.
I got it. I understand it.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
So we already know this is a difficult situation and we could either make it more difficult or we can make it better, you know, and I'm trying I need you guys to try. Otherwise, you're making me lose my hope, you know? It's like, and the minute I lose my hope, that means I shut down. That means you're in trouble because that means you just have to read the book. Like other teachers, the other math teachers, they don't stand up here every day. They just tell the students, page 199, do problems 1 through 20, and that's it. You figure it out on your own. And I hope it doesn't get to that. I really hope that you stay engaged and show me that you care. The next problem is 32. So 32, they're saying the center is 0, 0. And they're also giving you the radius, which is 8. So let's read the directions. So it says, write in standard form. So I'm going to write down standard form. It's x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. If I were you, I would write it down so you know what you're trying to do. And it says, write the standard form. That's it. So write the standard form. So put the pen, you guys. I mean, I don't know what else to say. So x minus 0, y minus 0, 8 squared. So what's the answer? X squared plus y squared equals 64. Number 42. They're giving you an equation in standard form, but what are they saying? They're saying they want the center, they want the radius, they want a graph, and they want the domain and range. They want 5 things. So the equation in standard form looks like this. Right? So the center is HK, and they want to know what the radius is. Well, that's not the radius over there, that's r squared. Now, the reason why I'm showing the work is because what if it wasn't 49? What if it's 53? What if it's not a perfect square? Then you have to know how to do it this way. R is equal to plus or minus 7. R is a length. So there's 2 of the answers, the center and the radius. Okay, 42, the next problem is 54. So 54 is x squared plus y squared plus 8x plus 4y plus 16 is equal to 0. And let's read the directions. It says we're going to have to complete the square to write. This is general form. We want standard form. So we want standard form. We want the center and the radius and the graph. So 4 things. So here's what you're going to do. And if you have questions on this, make sure you ask me. Okay, you're going to put the x's together and leave a space. You're going to put the y's together and leave a space. And you're going to subtract 16 from both sides. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to create 2 perfect square trinomials. So we're going to take half of the middle term, which is 4, and we're going to square it. So see the 16? You're going to add 16 there, and you're going to add 16 there, which causes those to cancel. Over here, you're going to take half of 4, which is 2, and you're going to square it. So you're going to add 4 there and add 4 there. So we're done basically. So to write the circle, this is general form. To write it in standard form, we created two perfect square trinomials so we can write the binomial squares. Well, what are the binomial squares? If we put 16 there, what do we put here?
4.
Right, good, thank you. If we put this 4 there, what do we put here?
2.
Thank you. Okay, look at that. There it is. So we miraculously came up with the equation of the circle in standard form. There it is. So now they want the center and the radius. Well, the center, now remember the form has minuses in it. So this is x minus a -4, and this is y minus a -2. So there's your center. And your r squared is equal to 4. So we have to find r. And r is a distance. So I don't care if you believe in yourself or not. I do care. But it's like, I know you know how to do this. I know everybody can do this, you know. But if you say that you can't, you won't. So if you keep telling yourself, this is too hard, I can't, then you won't. It's real simple. You have to say, I can, I will, I'm able. So there's 3 of the things. There's your equation in standard form, your center, and your radius. Now they want a graph, and the graph is easier than any of the graphs we've ever done. Got to get the center right, though. Left 4 down 2. And from there, what you do is you go up 2 and put a point, right 2 and put a point, because that's the radius, down 2 and put a point, and left 2 and put a point, and you draw the circle. That's it. So now they asked for the domain and range. So the domain is where the graph exists left and right. So where does the graph exist left and right? And the range is where the graph exists up and down. So go ahead and tell me, what's the domain?
-6, -2. -4, -4.
Wait a minute, 54. Oh, they didn't want the domain, huh? Okay, they didn't want the domain, but we'll do it anyway. All right, so they didn't want the domain, but we'll do it anyway. What'd you guys say? 3. Okay, and so that's right. Okay, what's the range? You didn't have to do this part, but we're doing it anyway.
-4, -4.
-4 up to what?
Oh, 0?
Yeah.
Or
No, you're right. You're right. -6 to -2 and -4 to 0. Good job. Good job. You got it. But we didn't have to do that, but we did it anyway. Okay, now go ahead. I'll take questions on this. Anybody have an issue about creating a perfect square trinomial and writing it as a binomial square? These are equivalent, just a different way to write it. Does anybody have a question about how to do that? Okay, would you like to do one of your problems then? Like you want to do one of your problems in the lesson?
Miss Birch, I got a question, but it's
Yeah.
from number 32.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
So on this one, the center was 0, 0, but what would happen if it wasn't there? What
Okay,
would
how
we do
about
then?
let's do one of your problems from the lesson. Let's do one of your problems from the lesson. So is that Jaden?
Yeah.
Pick a problem.
33.
Okay. So you guys heard the question, right? If the center is not 0, 0, what do we do? Use a Windex on this. Red doesn't want to erase. Now, someone in one of the teams, I was talking to one of the teams and I said, why do you guys not want to talk? And the person said, actually, I don't know any of these people and I don't feel comfortable. And I completely understand that. That is completely understandable to me. Like, how could I expect you to talk to people that you don't even know? So here's the deal. You're not with those people. That'd be way harder to try to talk to people if you actually were with them in person. But you're not, everybody feels the same way. And I never stood up and said, you guys, this is so easy. You know, we could do this, no problem. It's hard to talk to people you don't know. I get it. But since nobody knows anybody, let's just try, you know, to do what I'm asking. I don't even know you guys. I could be at school and you could walk right by me and I wouldn't even know you because you don't ever show me your video. So here I've been with you all year. I know your name backwards and forwards. I know your grade. I know what you're capable of doing. I know what you're having trouble with. And yet, if I walked right by you, I wouldn't even know who you were. That's sad. So I got to figure something out because you guys are making it way harder by not showing your video. If you were showing your video, you know, you could hold your paper up and help each other out, but you refuse to show your video and it's making it 10 times harder. So it's like, I'm trying to help you, but you are putting all these obstacles in my course and you're making it harder on yourself and each other. So just remember, 60% of the class is failing and we're doing everything your way. A lot of you just won't try what I'm asking. And we already know your way doesn't work. So why not try my way? So the center here is 3, 2. And the radius, I'm doing the right problem, right? Or no? 33?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so here's the directions. Write the standard form. The minute I read that, I'm going to write it down. It's x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. And I'm just going to fill in the blanks. So this would be x minus, this is hk, right? So it's almost so easy, you're confusing yourself. It is this easy, you guys. It's easy, just do it. So your final answer would be x minus 3 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared equals 5 times 5. So it's not going to get any easier than that. And that's all they wanted. They just want the equation. So just put the numbers in. H, K, R, done. All right, who wants to do another problem in your lesson? If you don't say anything, we're going to leave class because I'm over it. So anybody want to do another problem?
What about number 29?
29?
Yeah.
All right. 29, you always give me the hardest problems. I don't understand why. We don't know how to do the simple ones and you give me the hardest one. So they're giving you two ordered pairs. And in 29, they want us to find the midpoint. So the midpoint is an ordered pair. You add up the x's, so it'd be square root of 18 plus square root of 2 over 2, you're always dividing by 2. And the y's would be negative 4 and 4 over 2. So you cannot add unlike radicals. So you cannot add that, but you can simplify square root of 18. And if you get a radical 2, then you can add them. So I'm going to simplify it off to the side of the paper. So what is square root of 18? Well, the prime factorization for 18, if you take out a 2, is 2 times 9, which is 2 times 3 times 3. So a 3 gets to come out. So now what you have is you have 3 radical 2 plus radical 2 divided by 2 and 0 over 2. So what's 3 radical 2 plus 1 radical 2?
4 radical 2.
4 radical 2. Well, can't you cancel parts of a product? So wouldn't this be 2 radical 2 and 0? Yes? No?
Yeah.
We talked about adding radicals, right? 3 plus 1 is 4. Radical 2 can cancel, right? 2 radical 2.
Right.
So remember the midpoint? I did give you a formula, but I said, forget the formula. Just put the x's together and divide by 2, put the y's together and divide by 2, and find the midpoint. And remember what you're doing there. You have a line segment, and you're finding the middle point. That's the midpoint, and it is an ordered pair. All right, who wants to do another problem in your lesson? How about, let's do 37. They're giving you the center, and they're saying the center is left 3, down 1, and they're saying the radius is radical 3. So they're asking for the standard form. Write it down. Now notice that this is not a perfect square. It's not 25. It's not 49. It's not 81, but you have to know what to do. So this is HK. So you have X minus a negative 3 quantity squared, right? Plus Y minus a negative 1 quantity squared equals radical 3 quantity squared, right? All right, so what's your final answer? What's this?
X plus 3.
Quantity squared plus,
Y plus 1 quantity squared.
and this, if you're confused, off to the side of the paper, can't you just do this? What's radical 3 times radical 3?
3.
Exactly, 3. Thank you. Radical 3 times radical 3 is 3. But this is the key, write this down to help you out. How about another problem from the assignment?
Number 50.
50. I'm going to write it down, then we'll read the directions. How about we do 51 because that's part of your lesson. How about we do a problem in your lesson? It's the same problem. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, this is 51. All right, so x plus 1 quantity squared plus y squared equals 25. Let's see what they want. Now they're giving you an equation in standard form. Okay, here we go. They want the center, the radius, the graph, the domain and range. They want 5 things. Okay, so isn't this the form? Like if you were going to write it in the exact form, wouldn't this be x minus a -1? Now you don't have to do that. Those of you know that's -1, you don't have to write this. Wouldn't this be y minus 0 quantity squared equals 25? So what's your center? That is equal to that, right?
Yeah.
It's
What's your center?
-1, 0.
Yeah. And what's your radius? Well, we know that r squared is 25. So what's r? 5. Right?
Right.
Okay, let's graph it. And remember, the graphing's really easy. All you do is plot the center, go up, right, down, and left. So it's like the easiest graphing we've ever done. But you got to get the center right, though. If you mess up on the center, the whole graph's going to be wrong. So this is at left 1, 0. So we're going to go up 5. We're going to go right 5 from the center. We're going to go down 5. And we're going to go left 5. And we're going to draw the circle. Okay, that's the 3 things now. Now, the last 2 things, they want the domain and range. So what's the domain? Where does the graph exist, left and right?
-5 to 5.
Yeah, -5 up to,
5.
I think it's 4, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're right. Oh, no, okay. This, okay, where is this on the number line? It's at -5. Where is this on the number line? It's at -4, right? I mean, +4?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the range?
-5.
Up to,
+5. Right.
yeah. Yeah, you're right. Let me just check it. 51. This is, okay, this, my book says -6. Okay, look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? From 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. So when you write the domain and range, you're writing the actual points on the number line. So this actual point is -5, and this actual point is +5. Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you want to do another problem? Now, what I told period 1 was that if you know how to do these 5 problems, you should be able to ace this part of the test. So lesson 1-9 is due on Monday, and on Tuesday morning, you're going to take a four lesson exam. So on Tuesday morning, you're going to take exam 1-6, 1-7, 8, and 9, which is 4 sections. So what I claim is if you know how to do these 5 problems, you're going to do good on lesson 1.9. And that's what you want to do for the other sections. You want to practice problems in each of the sections. Now, somebody asked me, well, how many problems are on the exam? Well, I'm only putting like 15 to 17 problems, right? So some sections aren't going to have a problem. So here's what I recommend to you. On Monday, you should ask me questions. Like, is problem number 53 on lesson 1.6 going to be on the exam? Because what can you lose? I can say either yes, it will be, or no, it won't. So in other words, I'm trying to encourage you to talk. I just feel like I should be talking less. And so one way or the other, I'm going to get you talking more. So if that doesn't work, we'll try something else. Second semester, I might be giving extra credit for talking and having your video on. If you don't have your video on, you won't get the extra credit. If you don't talk, you don't get the extra credit. So I'm going to do something. So, because it can't continue like this. We cannot have 9 out of 15 people failing this class. That is ridiculous. Okay. I mean, I might be a bad teacher, but I don't think I'm that bad. So, can't have that many people failing a class. So if you know how to do these 5 problems, you should be able to do well on the exam. And that exam is Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock. Okay, do you guys want me to do any other problems? All right, then class is over. I'll see you next week.